Okay, good morning everyone. David's asked me to kick off. I'm Graham Hitchen. I'm working with The Creative Way and with a number of other people in the room actually on a series of discussions around 2012 and the legacy of 2012. What I wanted to do, I'm not going to talk about the topic so much as give you a quick introduction to the format of the day, a format of the morning and how we're going to work so that everybody's clear about that. The idea of a project exchange, which is what this event, this meeting is billed as, came out of a series of discussions about, actually in relation to 2012 and the legacy, but in relation to other things, which is about the need to get some projects and activities off the ground. Not to wait for strategies to dictate what we might do and then have projects coming in behind, but to actually have projects determine what that future strategy might be. So it's not an anti-strategy agenda. For those of you that have had training in this, it's what I might describe as emergent strategy. But I think it's quite a serious point here for a number of people in East London, in Thames Gateway, that term that I think we're still using, and certainly for all of the discussions around 2012 legacy, there's been a tendency to spend a lot of time getting agencies together to agree frameworks and to agree strategies, and to do all of that before we can actually do things that might make a difference for people in the area. So the purpose of this that Liz Pearce and I have been discussing was to create a series of events where we can actually talk about projects and activities and bring people into the room that might actually be people that run projects themselves, from further education, higher education, from training and skills agencies generally, and from industry, to talk about projects that can get up and running. Now, to illustrate that point, I'm just going to refer to something that we're going to talk about later, which is the 2012 Media Skills Partnership, which the Creative Way has been running with Ravensbourne and a number of other partners, which in many ways was the inspiration for today's event. Now that is a partnership that's brought together further education, higher education, industry with schools, emerging out of a set of discussions, those sort of framework discussions, what should we be doing to try and ensure that there is a really strong digital media and creative legacy in and around the IBC after 2012. What should we be doing? Actually, and in the context, by the way, of a sort of what was eventually the collapse of the bid that Igloo and Carillion put together that went to the LDA. So there were sort of months and potentially years of discussions around let's plan for a legacy that an agency, and I think credit to John Middleton in particular in this case, London Thames Gateway, said, well, hold on a minute, why don't we just do some things now? It might be very small, let's just do some things and see what happens. Now, we're going to talk about that project later, so I won't say any more about it now, but I think that, to me, was a really good example of, rather than waiting around for some future scenario to be created for us, it's about people on the ground in the area actually saying, let's do some things now, not because we couldn't be bothered to wait, but actually because what we do now might actually shape that legacy and what happens to it in the future. So pretty bluntly, that's what today's about. It's about trying to identify some projects and activities, some of which are probably already happening, that we can actually get behind, the partners in the room can get behind, and actually give a push and make happen. But also it's about maybe identifying new projects across this domain that actually can start to inform and shape the programme that the Olympic Park Legacy Company, for example, is developing at the moment. I hope there's somebody from the Olympic Park Legacy Company in the room. Somebody's due. Don't have to show your hand now, but certainly this is all going back to and will inform the thinking of the Olympic Park Legacy Company. So some programmes of work that can actually inform that future.